So the other day, me and a friend of mine was having a really good conversation about things, and I said to him, I said, "Man, why is it that last year, leading up to the election, people in our part of the world talked constantly about the grocery bill? Every time they went to the grocery store, they were making posts on social media about how outrageous the prices were. Every time they went through a drive-through and got a couple of biscuits in the morning, they was complaining about how expensive it was. I've never in my life heard eggs talked about as much as they were last year. I didn't even realize that many people ate them. They were that popular. But they were talked about constantly, and gas prices was talked about constantly. And then when Trump got reelected, the people that used to complain about all those things in my part of the world, they just stopped complaining about it. I don't see the post about the high prices, and they're still there. I don't see the post about the high grocery bill. They're still there. When I go through the drive-through with my kids, I could dang near go broke. And I don't see them making posts like that. I said, why do you think that they made that their entire identity and talked about it nonstop, but now, suddenly, they've stopped talking about it? And he said, well, I really believe that they still believe in him. They still trust Trump, and they believe, well, just give him a minute now. He's gonna fix it. I said, yeah, but he said he would do it on day one. He said he would do some of these things as president-elect, and he's not done it. Why ain't they holding him to account? He said, well, because they still ain't had time for it to really sink in that they got played. Some of them already are. Some of them already are waking up and going, wait a minute, this is some BS. And I'm happy to see some people turning around. But I said, why aren't some of them? He said, because it just ain't stung hard enough yet. Give it a couple of years, and when those prices are still the same or way higher, which is where they're headed, he said, then you're going to see them maybe start to turn around, and hopefully Democrats can pull it off again. But I want to play you this clip from CNN of Abby Phillip where she is fact-checking all these things that Trump is saying, because he knows that if he just tells his base everything's okay, they'll believe it. But I'm really glad to see when he gets called out. So roll this clip.
Donald Trump was elected because of his economic prowess, but as the economy is suffering, new polls are showing that his support is in fact eroding, particularly among young men. And it's lies like these that people aren't buying anymore.
$1.98 yesterday in a couple of states. You have gasoline's way down.
That is false. No state had an average below $2.70 a gallon, and the national average, nearly a quarter, it's above $3. Now, the lowest price that we were able to find was $2.19 at a gas station in Texas.
The price of groceries are substantially down.
That is also not true. Average grocery prices in March were up from February in the biggest month-to-month jump since October 2022. They were also up nearly 2.5% from last March, the biggest year-over-year jump in nearly 2 years.
And we had all eggs, and as you know, the cost of eggs has come down like 93, 94%.
Not even close. The national average for a dozen eggs, as I'm sure you know, is above $6. That is a decline of 55% from their high, but not nearly 94%. Trump has taken his biggest win, and he's essentially squandered it. And the polls are really showing that people are kind of fed up with it. They were giving him the benefit of the doubt for a while. But according to a new Fox poll out just tonight, he is at the lowest marks for any president since George W. Bush for this point in his presidency, Congressman.
Yeah. You know, folks, most of us have a cell phone in our pocket. I got one right here sitting on this little stand. Right here it is. At any given point, I can take my thumbs and find out anything I need to know. And I can talk to anybody in any corner of this world. I can go live on my platforms and have people from Australia say, hey, Brando, how you doing? So if someone just makes a claim as boldly as Donald Trump made those claims, I mean, he's the leader of the free world, how does he not know that we all are able to just fact check him that quickly? We can all look in and see, hey, he's lying. That ain't true. And it's not just about our cell phone. It's not just about looking it up and seeing if, wait a minute, is he telling the truth? No. All we have to do is go to the grocery store and go, damn, eggs are even more expensive. All we have to do is look at the grocery bill and go, dang, it's not went down. We've not got the break we were told that we were going to get. The war in Ukraine didn't magically end while he was president-elect. And now Rubio says, well, we may have to stay out of that one. May have to just walk away. Might not be able to end that at all. So the question does become, when will it start to matter to MAGA, and especially people that around here that I just saw complaining the entire time? When will the high prices start to matter to them again? And I do believe, like I've always said with Republicans, and again, I want to keep driving this point home a lot. I know I say it a lot. This didn't just start with Trump. It didn't just start with MAGA. The Republican Party has been this way for years. For years, the Republican Party has went out there. They've made a lot of promises that they've never kept. They've accused the other side of doing things that they weren't doing. They found one little story somewhere that they could grab and throw out to the world and say, "Oh, look what a what a Democrat did. The Democrats are your enemy. The Democrats is why you can't get ahead in this world." And they go out there and they'll run these ads and they'll tear these people down and they'll put it out there, but they never had any intention of ever doing anything other than tearing down something that a Democrat put in place and things that would actually help people. Me and my friend was also talking about Joe Biden and the Infrastructure Act and the CHIPS Act. We were talking about how that so much of those things were going to have really good long-term effects. It was stuff we would feel later. But now people wants to feel it instantly. They want it to happen immediately. And, and especially the entire time that Biden was in there rolling up his sleeves working for us, you had Trump on the other side saying it ain't working fast enough. It ain't working fast enough. He ain't getting it done as quick as he should have. I could do it on day one. I'm so smart. I could pull it off as president-elect. And they believed it and bought into it, and now they're silent. Now they're crickets. Now they ain't saying nothing about it. And it's like, really? Really? You're not going to be mad? You're not upset? You're not upset that you got played? No, they're not. They would be more upset at us for pointing it out. I promise you, I'm going to say something, and I promise you it's the truth. Somewhere in my part of the world, there has been somebody go to the store to buy a carton of eggs, and Tennessee Brando's voice went through their head. And I am proud to be that dude. And there's other people out there that went out one day, and when they looked at the grocery bill, they thought of their social media creator that they love to hate, but they watch every day, and went, "Oh, damn it!" They'll always end up madder at us because we pointed it out than they will to the ones who played them and conned them. And I've always said it has to happen to them before they feel it. And that's what I started to say a minute ago with the Republican Party. That's always been a Republican thing. My entire life it's been a Republican thing. It has to affect them. I've seen it happen so many times. I have seen people said and make the most homophobic jokes. I've seen people make the most homophobic posts, and then when their son or daughter came out of the closet, they immediately, "Man, be careful what you say about gay people. Don't say nothing bad about gay people. My son is, or my daughter is." Like, well, it had to happen to you. And there's people out there who, as bad as I hate to say it, it's like when their daughter really needs that medical attention that maybe their preacher screamed against, suddenly, well, man, I can't judge that, because it happened to them. And that's what's going to have to happen here, folks. It's going to suck for the innocent people who didn't even understand and didn't even show up to vote, didn't even understand what was going on, and didn't have time to understand what was going on. It's going to suck for those innocent people. It's going to suck for all of the people who voted against it. It's going to suck for all the ones that stood up for it. And it is sucking right now for the Trump supporters too. They're just not quite ready to admit it. But after a couple of years goes by, and if Donald Trump actually does go home and it's left to J.D. Vance or Don Jr., a lot of people are saying he may be the guy, whoever it is, eventually those lies that Trump tells and those fact checks will hit home. Eventually people will say, well, you know what? We really thought they took it from him the first time, and if they just give it back to him, he'd make it all better on day one, and here we are, and he didn't do it. I don't know where I pulled that voice from. I just, a lot of times I over-exaggerate voices that I hear around here. People I've known my whole life that will talk a certain way, and I take it and exaggerate it, because satire is the use of humor, irony, and exaggeration to expose the stupidity of someone's beliefs. I wish this was all satire. I wish this was all just like, I wish they would have brought back the show, Mr. Show with Bob and David. I loved that show. I think they only made 3 seasons of it. I was a diehard fan of that show. I wish that the entire Trump years was just Bob and David doing a skit that we could laugh at. But unfortunately, it's the real world. And hopefully, as more time goes on and more people starts to feel the effects, they'll walk away and maybe we can see this MAGA nightmare fade. I hope so. But folks, thank you so much for supporting what it is that I do here on the channel, and I hope everyone has a great rest of your week. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We're cruising toward 1 million subscribers. I think we'll get there before the end of the year at the rate we're going. So I truly appreciate your support and tuning in, supporting what I do. And just know that you're always appreciated, and I'll keep doing my best to call this crap out.